I put all these up on YouTube. It's a courtesy. These are the players from Team 45-45 League, and got a fairly even rating match here. Okay, this would be Verisov's. There was a pamphlet back in the 70s. Watch out, Verisov's opening. So it's someone play that in a game tournament, and somebody'd say, "Watch out, huh? What?" Oh, you had to be there. Okay. London says I've been seeing a lot of that. Oh, come on, don't do this stuff. You got with your ratings. Oh my goodness. Okay, knight a6. What are you going to do now? All right. Okay. Well, get it out of book. I'm not going to criticize the players, but I see this at Chess Kid all the time, and I see people trying to prevent it. That's why what they do on Chess Kid. The moment this knight comes here, they go, ah, I don't want that knight going there. Obviously, there is a defense which black is proving. Okay. All right. So nothing. What are you doing? I mean, I'm sorry. I'm just blanking out. What the heck is this for? Okay, guys, don't do this at home. All right, don't push your rook pawns. Black has no intention of putting anything here, none whatsoever. And even if he could put something there, it's not going to do a dang thing. Why don't you do something with these guys? Okay, all right, that's what you want to do. Now maybe there's a plan to it, but it escapes me right now. Okay, be gone. Okay, so for all white's trouble, black is ahead in development. That's why you don't want to make these moves. See, black's got both sides have 3 minors out, and black is castled, and it's black's move. He can develop another piece. Whee! I can put my queen out here and bother your pawn. No, he wants to do this. I like this move. I'm not saying it's the best move. I just said I like it. I guess eventually he needs to play c5. But let's just see if white will weaken his pawn structure some more. Maybe he'll play here. Now we got c3 weak. a3 could be a target, tying the rook down. We don't know what white's going to do. Maybe he'll play here. Now we got a nice juicy square we can transfer a knight to. We can... we'll find a way to get this knight here. Okay, and this knight, he's going to find his way there. Believe me, it can be done. Okay, you have to move the queen, and bring the knight back here, here, and here, and then, ooh, look we got a really nice outpost for a knight. Okay, I don't know what's white going to do. We don't know. We have no idea what he's going to do, and we'll never know because we didn't play queen b6. And I'm horse, but I'm trying. Rook b1. Okay. Maybe somehow later this back rank will get weak and we can steal a pawn or something. Not now, of course. We don't know what's going to happen. Anyway, but c5 is playable. Don't move your pieces twice in the opening. Okay, this is a funky game. Now black should play for this. That's the pawn chain rule. Attack with your pawns in the direction the pawn chain points. White should do this. Now, I'll do this again. I've done this before. I like doing it. What should white's plan be? Well, it should be to play for this. How do I know that? Well, magic. You can't do it now, but, well, you could, I guess. But here's what I like to do. Oh, forgot to do it. I like to draw this picture. For people that have any doubt, just remember this. I'm drawing a bird here. It's not a very good bird, but it's a bird, okay? I have fun when I teach, okay? We see the head of the bird up here on D8 and E8, and I think you can find the tail and the wings, okay? You with me? Okay. I didn't create the rule. It was created before I was born. I've been around too long, but the rule basically says meet wing play with play in the center. Okay, black is just played on the wing. So where are you going to play in the center? with E3, E4. Okay, so we know what their strategy should be. Whether they do it's a whole nother animal. Okay, so black's goal is to play for this. White's goal is to play for this. Let's see what happens. Well, let's stop. Is this sound? No, it's nice pinned. Okay. Well, see, I guess we're wrapped up in in principles. I overlook tactics. Looks like white is losing a pawn. So he says, okay, well, he has a trick. He can pin it. See, I'm slow on tactics. This is why I don't play blitz. Oh, my goodness. What's wrong with this? Oh, no, you have a check. Duh. Check. See, I told you I'm bad on tactics. Okay, anyway. He doesn't want the pawn. Why doesn't he want the pawn? You don't want this pawn? Maybe he's going to take it later. I don't know. It sure looks sound to me. Okay, F6. It's still there. He doesn't want it. He wants to play for what he can't do now. Pawn is still there. He doesn't want it. Pawn is no longer there. Now, where's that knight going? I guess he's going to D6 because that's the only other square open. These are taken. He wants it. He wants it on E4. And he plays his bishop there because he figures if he puts his knight there, well, he'll just chop it off. There's no knight to go to D4. Now knight D6, I expect. But notice how white is neutralized at some degree. But why didn't he go for take that pawn? Black has this really wonderful bishop over here. And well, guess what? We got to play for A5 and eventually B4. Because we didn't want that pawn. Well, you're not going the way you're supposed to go. But who am I to say? And now he's inviting a queen trade to undouble his pawns. Okay, getting ready for this, slowly but surely. Okay, watch your pawn on E3. Oh, this is dangerous. Let's see. There's a pawn on G3. He doesn't want it. He didn't want a pawn. Okay, what am I missing, folks? I mean, I'll be the first to admit that I can't analyze worth of crap. Okay, you can, but can he keep it? Let's see. I mean, this pawn's a sitting duck. And if we have to do this and this, followed by, well, let's see, we got to protect this. You know, something along this line. You know, slide the rook over first. I don't know. This is a bizarre game. It's having an effect on me. I see these obvious. I'm missing obvious moves, but I'm also seeing obvious moves. Okay, so you didn't want the pawn on G3. You don't like winning double pawns. Maybe the logic is that double pawns are in effect one pawn anyway, so why should I bother taking it? You got me. I don't know. Now let's undouble your C pawn. I don't want to take the pawn back. Let's see. Why doesn't he want to take the pawn? Why doesn't he want to take that pawn? What am I missing? You don't have C3. I guess you could pin it, but I don't know, C3. Here. Let's see, do I want to take that rook down here? How about I don't? How about I do this? Oh. Now you take this, I get to steal this.
Check.
What's a pawn up? Now, that wasn't forced, but it's just, I don't know. Now you finally got rid of that. So, black's a pawn up finally, after passing on several times to do that. That's a good move. Split up his pawns. So maybe, let's see. Maybe this was a mistake. Because it allowed this. How do we stop that? We have a check. Let's give this a check. Now, can't safely block on any of these, so king has to go somewhere. Let's put it now. If we go here, all we have to do is get rid of this knight, and this is mate. So let's see. Let's look at this. Okay. The threat is, as I said, rook takes. Now you can't take because...
Check.
Oh, why isn't that mate? Oh, duh. Okay, well, see, it wasn't protected until it captured. Okay. So we got to take that into account when we calculate. Okay, so if the knight vanishes from the board, then that would be mate. You know, if we pick this knight up and say, get out of here, you don't belong. So how can we do that? Rook here, and white decides, okay, I'll come back here and help. No, I'll come back here and help you. There it is. There's my mate. So apparently we can't force a mate. But we can do this.
Check.
Certainly seems a lot better. So he has to come over to the side somewhere. Let's come up here. Now, this is loose. Let's put him here. Not maybe. Well, no. Let's see. Get tricky here. We want to play this, but we have to expose our king to do that. Yes, this king could have been here. Yeah, you see, analyzing is fun. You know, if you sit and, you know, when you're playing the game, you try to work all this stuff up. I'm just seeing movies I didn't expect, and I'm trying to find out, you know, why these moves were rejected. And all I'm seeing is all kinds of interesting complications, because I haven't solved this yet. You know, I don't use a computer to solve. I'll blunder my own way through it. Thank you. Okay. But by brute force, if I look at it enough, I'll either solve it, or I'll give the players a chance to sit down and solve it. Because I hope, you know, when they see this video, that they take my suggestions and sit down and set up a chessboard and play around with this. You know. Okay, let's go back to the game. Okay, so A4 came. Now we managed to split up the pawns. They're no longer connected. This pawn is a target. But black's got it defended. Okay. He figures he doesn't want to be in check later. But do you need to do that move? I mean, you know, spending close to 2 minutes on the move. You know, the clock goes down 1 minute and 6 seconds plus your increment. If you're trying to gain time on the clock, fine, but make that decision a little quicker. Okay, now pressure here. Pressure on D4.
Check.
Okay, this is all helping black. Black is theoretically winning this. Gotta be careful because he had uncovered an attack on this. Okay, pins the queen. But we're going to drop this pawn. So I think the factor is the clock is getting to black here, because the trades are helping white, and now he gets this guy back. And what happened? Well, maybe they agreed to a draw. Let's see. Yeah, a draw. Okay, so I've had a couple of endings come up where I got to demonstrate how the bishop beats the knight. Let's see what time. We have 35 minutes. 25 minutes. I'll go ahead and do it. I'll show these games again. Okay, let's just take a quick look at this and evaluate it. Okay, white has inside pass pawn, so to speak, black and outside. But this is probably worth playing on for white, simply because you have the bishop, and the bishop is a long-range piece. So another thing too that's good for white is this king for now is cut off. So let's just kind of it's black to play. He needs to activate his king, and the way to do that, let's play g5. And the reason I'm playing g5 rather than g6 is that I want to slow down these white pawns a little bit. I want this pawn on a square the bishop can't attack it. Maybe it's better to go to g6, but we're just playing moves. Now we're going to start activating kings. Now it seems like white's got to the center pretty quick. Okay. Now this a pawn is in a little bit of danger. So if black loses that pawn, white will have a passed pawn. So black's going to have to generate something with this knight over on this side of the board. Something over here. Specifically, these three guys. Okay. So this is, white's not in any danger of losing this. None whatsoever. So it should have been played on. Now this wasn't forced, like I read. We're just making moves to try to analyze. But white's threat is just simply to go here and take the pawn. So black needs to counterplay. Well, we're going to have to give that pawn up. Let's try to redeploy this knight. But we also have to sidestep this bishop too, so that's not that easy. We need to get him to f4, meaning we need to get him to g6, meaning we need to get him to f8. See, this is nice having trouble getting to f8. He can't go through e6, he's going to get taken. He's got to get to d7. How does he get to d7? By way of b8. How does he get to b8 from here? Black is losing this. Okay, this is a winning position for white. Now, maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong many times. But let's try to bring the king closer. Now, still, how do you get this knight in play? The same mysteries.
Check.
Okay, we got to get him to, where do we have to get him to? We have to get him to f4, meaning we got to get him to g6. Oh, look, we got a path. We have a path. Now white's going to play this and say, no, you don't. See? Okay, so how else can we get to f4? By way of d3, which is occupied. By way of e2, meaning we got to get to d4. Hey, look, I got a new path. And I even gained a tempo. And now white plays here. And look, we're going to get the knight in here. But look at this pawn. Look at this pawn roll.
Check.
Now, white is almost has black in Zugzwang here. We'd love to play this check. And that's how we're going to do it.
Check. Check.
Who would you rather be, white or black? So again, none of this was forced, but white should have played this out. This king is massively out of play. Very, very interesting and bizarre game, to say the least. Okay. So what I did, it bears repeating. Give me a second here. I have to bring it up. I'm gonna. If you've seen it already, don't stick around. See it again. Okay. Give me a moment here, and I'll bring it up. Okay. I love it. I'm always quoting this game somewhere at some point. Okay. This is a very famous game. Famous because it's in all the endgame anthologies. Any book that has endgames. It's in Auerbach's Bishop versus Knight endings. It's in Reuben Fine's Basic Chess endings. It's in Sherezevsky's Endgame Strategy. It's in Sharon's Endgame Anthology. And I'm sure if you look around, you'll find it in some more. Who are these guys? I think Stoltz was Swedish. Isaac Kashdan arguably was definitely in the top 5 in the world at his time. In his prime, I should say. This game was played in 1928. So Kashdan was ahead of, there's several people that went on and became greats in chess. Kashdan more or less retired and focused on his career. He was an accountant. He had a wife and children to support. But the only ones that you could argue above Kashdan would be, in 1928, would be Capablanca, Alekhine, and Emanuel Lasker. Now, Lasker was still playing good chess, but he was aging. And, so that, right there, that we can say we can argue Kashdan for the top 4. And if I forgot somebody, well, we can argue him for the top 5. And, theoretically, you could argue him for the top 3. You could say, well, Lasker was over the hill. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I met Kashdan in the 70s, used to direct tournaments in Los Angeles. He wrote the Los Angeles Times chess column, which I was discovered in 1966 when I was 11. And really, really nice guy. Okay, so this game, then the story is that they lost the game score. All they had was the ending position, and we'll talk about the ending position when we get there, about move 28 or so. I think Isaac's son happened to find, going through his father's collection or possessions, I guess is the thing to say, and he came across the game score and got it published online. So it's only appeared in the last, I don't know, 10, 15 years. And it's got a very interesting combination that didn't happen. We'll see it when we get there. Okay. We're not to that combination yet. Okay. Okay. So, as far as tactics go, there might be a problem here on F1. Okay. The problem is this bishop can go to A6 and trap it. Let's see if that happens here yet. Yeah. Okay. So how do you defend this position? Kashdan is threatening to just take your rook and win the game. So, as I said, there's a tack that doesn't happen. White found a really great move here. I'll give you a second to try to find it if you haven't seen it yet. How do you defend against this position? How do you stop black from playing bishop takes F1? Because guess what? If you don't stop it, he's going to do it. And there's a tactic that white can set up, which I'm sure all of you have seen somewhere. If you haven't seen it, you're going to look for it. I actually did it in a blitz game once. I tried playing blitz. I suck. Okay, so do you have any idea what white should do yet? To stop bishop takes f1? Well, you know, you can play c4. That'll stop bishop takes f1, but that's not the move. Okay, so let's give you a little more time here. White to play and stop bishop takes f1. Okay, I'm going to give it to you in 10 seconds. There's a lag between me saying this and it appearing on Twitch, so I haven't said it yet. If somebody types it in the next minute or less, I'll know you got it. But you know, you don't have to. But the answer is, surprise, surprise. Go ahead, make my day. I mean, go ahead, take my rook. I had to throw a Clint Eastwood reference in there. He said, stop bishop f1. I just did it. Well, yeah, that's fine. I wanted you to do that. White to play and win. Well, you're down a rook right now, and somehow taking the bishop with the king doesn't seem to help white. So what are we going to do here? We're going to throw a check at you.
Check.
Okay. Now black's best move is to give up the queen, and I think we can agree that that white will win this position, right? Okay. But that was black's best move.
Check.
So that's his only other move. Now what do we do? Well, always check. It might be mate. Okay. I'm going to check here. Oh, no, I'm not going to check there. I'm kidding. I'm going to check you here.
Check.
And poor black has one legal move. Now we've managed to throw a queen and a rook away. So we're running out of stuff to check with. I think there's one check left.
Check.
Just in time. Look at the poor black king. Black gets to play here, and
checkmate.
Game over. So, hope you enjoyed that little tactical thing. I saw that on my own. It wasn't in the notes. So, Cashton, you know, arguably the top 5 in the world, is not going to play bishop takes f1. I might. Cashton won't. Now, you might be asking, well, can't you do this thing anyway?
Check.
Look at that.
Check.
Look at that. Look at that. I did it anyway.
Checkmate.
Well, no, there's a problem with that. Is there a rule that says you have to... Whoops. Wait. Oh. Is there a rule that says you have to take with the king? You have to get... The rule is you have to get it at check. Let's get it at check this way. Oops. Now, after this move, we're going to snatch this. And then we're going to take this. And white can throw in the towel. Right? Okay. And guess what? He got to play bishop takes f1. Now you can't take the a pawn because back rank. So Stoltz clears his back rank. Cashton guards his pawn. And what did I say? Move 28. Okay, this is the position in the anthologies. As I recall what Sherezewski says, at first glance, it appears that white has no, or black has no advantage, and the game will end in a draw. But on further inspection, black has a winning strategy. Now, what's the winning strategy? Well, let's understand one thing about knights and bishops. In the ending, a knight cannot lose a tempo, but a bishop can. That's the key. Okay, so let me show you what happened. So black starts centralizing as a king, and we're gonna. They both do the same. And now the winning strategy is use the king and the bishop to create weaknesses in the white pawn structure, invade it, create entry points, invade it, and win a pawn. Then get a pass pawn and win the game. That's exactly what's going to happen. So, white's kind of stuck here. If he moves the knight somewhere, black actually gains something. And it's kind of long and involved, but I'll just show you the basics here. So this comes over here.
Check.
And, the h3, h4 weakened the g4 square.
Check.
And g4 is still weak. Chases the knight away. But now you can't take the pawn because the bishop's there. He gains a tempo on that pawn, and now he collects the pass pawn. And there it goes. And
Check.
white tries to generate some play of his own on the other side, but it's too little too late. That pawn just runs. So, and he gave up. Remarkable, huh? That's how the bishop beats the knight. Now, back in, I was showing you a couple times, 88 or 89. Can't remember which year it was, but it was one of the two. I got into a game, I gotta find it here. I got into a game at the old Riverside Chess Club in California. Okay, where is it? Oh, here it is. Okay. And it was a meet once a week club, like Friday night, I don't remember. It kept bouncing around. We met on the campus of University of California, Riverside. And every now and then we'd get a surprise. The custodian would come in and say, "Hey, I'm scheduled to clean this room. Thorough cleaning, you need to leave." So we hadn't even made time control, I don't think, and we had to adjourn. I mean, we had to go home and finish it later. I'm playing black. And I'm just going to play through the moves. They're not all that important. But it's going to be a bishop and knight ending. So that means here's my bishop, and I don't remember which knight stays on the board, but all the other pieces get traded off.
Check.
And we'll talk about it when we get there. And if we have time, I'll dig up another knight versus bishop ending that I just remembered. Okay, let's see. So, I'm not going to analyze this. I'm just getting to the key position. Okay, knight versus bishop ending, and somewhere around here it was adjourned. So, my opponent was under the assumption that this was a draw. He didn't study it that hard. I did. And what did I do? I reviewed that Stoltz versus Cashton ending over and over. And then I tried to apply it to here. And we'll see what happens. Okay. He's managing to get pawns off the board. And so here's my entry squares.
Check.
And the entry squares are covered, so I got to maneuver with the bishop a little bit. Now I got in. That knight is so frustrating. I finally won the pawn.
Check.
He couldn't take my bishop. Now here's the key point. If I'd played b5, it's a definite win. What I did was I took this, and he should actually draw.
Check.
I discovered that years later. It's always had the assumption I was winning. But I did more work on it one time and found out it was still a draw. But I managed to win this. Okay.
Check.
Now,
check,
here's this. I'm not sure where the blunder was right off the top of my head, but now suddenly it's over. The moment the only move to stop it from a queen allows a fork. So that was the end of the game. Now let me see if I have this other game handy. I know where to find it. If it's, I think it's in an easier location here. Let me bring this other game up. Shoot, let's see. Give me a second here. Okay, it's not there. I mean, I didn't save it again. Okay, I have to track it down. Let's see. Or maybe I'll just save it if I can't find it. I should find it. Let's see if it's in this folder. No, I haven't. I may have to. No, I'm not finding it. But it's one where it was a bishop versus knight inning, but the knight was. It's just an example of what to do when you're trying to defend with a knight versus bishop. I'll have to save it. I don't know exactly where it is. So let's come back to the board here. Let me see. Okay. So, we're done in 3 minutes. I don't have time to show another game. All I can do is just, thank you all for being here. I mean, you want to get better at chess. This is this channel is going to be devoted to games analysis. This is how you get better. Okay, you get better by analyzing. You get better by playing, and finding the mistakes. What did you do right? What did you do wrong? What could you have done better? And I obviously analyze bad moves. Well, so what? Grandmasters analyze bad moves, but they're able to avoid them because they realize they're a bad move. That's your accurate thing. And I'll give you some shared comments, things I've acquired, knowledge I've acquired from stronger players. Ask a 20 players. His peak was high 2400s. I said, when you win a game against another 2400, how did you win? And he says they overlooked a tactic. Okay, so essentially, if you're over 2400, you're all capable of playing like a grandmaster for most of the game. It's those few moves during the game where you make that little slip that the tactic surprises you. And in these games we go over, I'll find certain positions where you can make things tougher on your opponent. Like he's in time pressure. Let's find a move to make him think and use more time. So if you're in time pressure, and it's easy to fall victim to a tactic. Okay, so and then I asked him, well, when you beat a player 22 to 23, what aside from they overlooked the tactic, how do you win those? And he said, well, their technique leaves something to be desired. In other words, they will allow him to get a stronger position that he should have. Okay, and then he'll be able to outmaneuver the guy where he just pushes him around and squeezes him to death, and then maybe he still wins because he overlooked a tactic, but he was winning anyway. So one of the strongest recommendations when you complete a long game is sit down and analyze the game with your opponent if it's possible. Okay, and and play the long chess. So if you want to play blitz chess, that's fun, but really it's just don't go overboard on it. I was tried blitz chess. When I first got into the internet chess 18 years ago, and I was never good at it. And And I tried. I thought I would play myself into being good at it. It hasn't. I can't even remember. Well, here and there. I think a couple of years ago, a year and a half ago, I tried some just for the fun of it. I hadn't played it in years, and I didn't do all that great at it. But I know that when I take a break from it, I never do all that great at it, and I work my way back in shape. But then after I was in the process of working myself back in shape, I said, I don't enjoy this. Because what'll happen to me, I'll sit there and I'll forget about the clock. I'll get fascinated with the position. And next thing I know, I'm 2 minutes behind on the clock, and and I'm going to end up losing the game because either A, I get run out of time, or B, I have to move quick and I make a blunder. So, reminder, nobody, not a single title player, Grandmaster, whatever, they did not get their title playing blitz chess. They got their title playing a long time control game. And, we see them online all the time. I mean, here at ICC, here, let me show you. There's nothing wrong with the way ICC does business. Okay, let's see. RoboAdmin shouts, Grandmaster Ninguno is playing guest 147. Type Ninguno. Is that a real guest, or is he playing? Yeah, he's playing a guest. Sometimes the guests come on incognito. They're actually strong players that are not telling with their hand, not giving away their handle. I want to get rid of that. But let's see. Here's Tomato. That's one of they run tournaments. Thursday Super Blitz 3-0. That's your time control. 5-round tournament. 4 players now. Need 8. Tell Tomato to join. So you can get a tournament right now. You can get those at chess.com. I'm sure all the other sites. And don't do that. Invest an hour with me. 2 hours. I'm gonna be back in 2 hours. I haven't left yet. If you're serious about getting chess, I put hundreds of hours of videos up on YouTube. I've got hundreds of games that I analyzed. You watch those, you're going to learn a lot. I've challenged people, go watch them all. You get awful tired of listening to me after a while, but I put all this stuff up there for a reason. And it's like I want to share what knowledge I have. It's my, I'm always wanting to write a book. Well, I haven't written a book, but I've written a video book. So, I'm here to share. And I think I've had an interesting chess career. And now I'm, trying to find how much I can twitch during a week. And right now I'm sitting at 30 hours, and I'm still hoarse, but I plan to bring more people aboard soon. I've got a lot of plans, which if you stick around, you'll find them. You'll see them. As soon as I go offline, my schedule will appear, and or it's on my website. I gave that link already. If you didn't get it, it's right here on the main thing. Free Master Chess Instructions. See also blah blah blah. ChessCoachBill.com. How can you forget that, huh? Easy site to remember. But I'm going to be back in 2 hours with more games analysis. And thanks so much.